Hello, patrons, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janet.
This is so every month we do a poll of 3 movies and leave it up to our patrons to pick a movie.
Yep.
And we will do a review. And this month for January, we put up 3 movies, and I think Taxi Driver was one. I don't remember what the poll was. Anyways, Lawrence of Arabia won, which was awesome because this is a huge hole in my cinema viewing history.
Yeah. And the last time I saw it was many, many, many years ago, so I couldn't tell you much about it. It was in the desert.
Yeah. Peter O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole, yeah.
and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I was really excited. This is why I put Lawrence of Arabia on the first poll. So the patrons that actually get to see this video, I'm interested to see how you guys feel about our review of this and your thoughts on this particular movie too, because it's in everyone's all-time top 10.
Yep. Or at least, least
in the conversation.
Top 10. That's all time. That's tough.
It's tough, but
it's up there.
Like cinema.
It's up there with Gone with the Wind and Ben-Hur. And,
yeah. And The Room.
What?
No, not The Room. Okay. So we watched this last night. It is 3 hours and 45 minutes of epic 60s-ness.
Yeah.
Now, it was directed by David Lean. And David Lean has done a ton of stuff.
He's done a couple small movies.
That's edited. Let me go down here to writer. I have IMDb's
director.
Passage to India, Dr. Zhivago, Larry of the Arabs, Bridge over the River Kwai, Mandoline,
Oliver Twist, Great Expectation.
So he's done some poo.
A couple.
And what they did in the scope of this movie it came out in 1962. So 1960, 1961.
Right.
The scope of what they did on film is breathtaking.
Yeah. Yeah, like when we first started watching it once Lawrence goes to Arabia, this isn't the back lot at the Warner Brothers studio in downtown LA. They took everybody and all their crap and went to the desert in the Middle East.
And it's the lighting is right, and the wide panning shots and like visionary stuff that is almost impossible to do today on digital.
Yeah.
And they did it on celluloid
film. Yeah. The color, that was one of the things I was kind of, when they were in the beginning, when they're in Cairo.
Right.
And they're in the old Egyptian buildings that have been turned into government buildings or whatever. Just the color, it's different, right? It's not digital or 4K or whatever that we have now. It's that older, almost colorized feel. Technicolor, yeah.
Now the one we did watch was a remastered edition, so that might have helped a little bit with the color.
And it was in
HDX, so we have a little bit more sharpness to it, although it was filmed on film.
But the colors, like the
pop of colors, and the use of colors that when they were with the British and everything was very green, British green, and the buildings were very much that way. And then we were out in the desert, everything was very brown. And Peter O'Toole's outfit, once he becomes one of the Arabs, is fully white, so you can pick him out in the crowd.
Yeah.
And when they first give him the white out with the robes and everything and the headdress and all of that, I'm like, he's never gonna keep that clean. Like, that was the first thing that I come across. But it just the use of having his, like, he was obviously white, and then there was obviously the blue tribe, and there was obviously the black tribe, and
that's probably how they told each other apart from a distance on the
and I'm sure was correct at the time, but
Yeah.
after going to see Glass and the use of color there, it was kind of fresh in my mind and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
This I'm not going to say that I'm not deep in the lore of Peter O'Toole, but he's amazing in this role.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think that when you say Peter O'Toole, most people instantly associate him with
this movie,
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, almost 4 hours of really just him, and I don't know, spoilers. I don't know. His
Is that really a thing?
I don't know. His journey from I'm a fresh-faced kid gonna go out there and change the world, and
snot-nosed.
I'm gonna get everybody. Well, he wasn't super snot-nosed. I mean, I'm sure he was. He seemed rich, but which was a thing,
right?
Rich kids, British, leaving home to have a adventure or whatever. But he was gonna go out there and he was gonna, do one for the British Empire, and then just his realization and coming to understand that the world doesn't necessarily always work that way, and Britain isn't necessarily in the right in this situation,
right. And how he kind of gets manipulated even by the Arabs.
Yeah, everybody's manipulating
making him kind of a warlord. Not kind of. He is a straight out warlord that the Arabs use to kick the Turks out.
Yeah.
But the idea that he enjoyed it was such it was such an important moment for me, that his realization that his snobbiness or whatever was gone, and he really enjoyed the being this guy, this warlord, this killer.
He says he liked to kill the people that he killed. He enjoyed it, and so just his whole change, and then obviously the end is actually the beginning, and
that backward storytelling wasn't really done a whole lot ever, and until like really the 80s, so that was really interesting that the movie started there. And I'm like, what? I know what this movie is about. What is going on
about him? But just kind of his then addiction. I mean, they didn't come right out. There were several topics that they didn't come right out, but very kind of cutting edge for that time. And this is one of them, his addiction to the
rush,
the fighting and all of that, which we see today with some of the soldiers coming back from war, right? It's kind of PTSD, like, now life is muted and I can't, and so he just drives his motorcycle really fast. The other one was what was he?
The Turkish
general,
the Turkish general or whatever,
who had a thing for Lawrence.
Yeah.
They didn't really come right out and say it, but that's what was going on.
That was going on, and that was I think that scene too is important because Lawrence definitely comes to the realization that he doesn't want to be there anymore, and so he leaves the British Army, but then gets pulled back in by the agreement that the British and the Arabs have.
Yeah.
And then he realizes then again that he loves this part. He loves what he's doing and stuff.
Well, and I'm
sure people are like, screaming at us about we took it the wrong way, but that's how we took it. That's how I took it, at least.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of felt like the only person that came to get him, to save him, was Omar Sharif, who they had obviously kind of built a friendship, right? But he couldn't protect him from the Arabian tribes, right? And the English were using him, and the Turks were using him, and like nobody was really there. Everybody was using him, and nobody was really there to protect him. So
I just the way it's filmed, the performances, the scope, everything. I get it now. I get why this is
Yeah.
an uber awesome top movie of all time. 3 hours and 45 minutes. I've always said that I never have a problem with movies being 3-4 hours long as they keep me engaged.
Right.
And even though I struggle with a lot of classic movie telling and storytelling and stuff like that, this kept me engaged. And so I don't have a problem that it was 3 hours and 45 minutes. I don't know where they could have cut it back. And that's the thing too, is like if I have a 3 hour movie and I can say, yeah, I could see where they could have done 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you tell this evolution of the story of this evolution of this man, and his journey through life any other way.
Yeah. I would be interested to know how audiences felt about this movie being so long back then and going to see it in the movie theater.
Right.
If it was, I mean, I remember going to movies and there were intermissions and you got up and, let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah.
and you did. You went pee.
You didn't know this was a musical performance edition, did you, patrons?
You went pee and you went and got, some jujubes or
smoke a
junior
cigarette
mints and smoked a cigarette. And so they probably did have one, but just today, people would be losing their ever-loving minds.
Yeah.
That was back when they only showed one movie a night, too, right?
Yeah.
You might get a matinee, and then you get one a night because everybody dressed up and went to the movie. It was a big thing.
Yeah. It was I'm glad this was the first one that we did for this. We will continue on with polls. The February poll will be up on February 1st, so we need to track down some movies. If you are at the $1 level and you can only see these videos, $2.50 a month, you can vote in the poll, and $5 a month, you can too tell us what movie to watch. We already have our movie for next month, and I'm super excited because, again, it's a movie I've never seen. I've always wanted to see.
Yep.
So I'm super excited. So we would like to let you give you a voice. Let us know what you thought of Lawrence of Arabia. Tell us if it is one of your all-time favorite movies. I can't say that right now, only seeing it once. I get it. It's really cool. I'd like to watch it again at some point in time, but it's not one of my all-time favorite movies.
I really liked it.
Oh, I really liked it, but I don't.
enjoyed it.
It's to be honest, like some of my all-time favorite movies are like Princess Bride and Dodgeball and like also The Martian and Zero Dark 30.
Lion in Winter and Sound of Music are kind of up there in my all-time.
So that's kind of our thoughts. So we would ask you, the patrons, what you think of Lawrence of Arabia. Have you seen it? Where does it rank in your all-time list? And please share our channel and patrons with our Patreon page with everyone you have that you know. I think that's it for this one. That's probably a little bit longer than we thought we were going to go, but there was a lot to talk about in this movie.
It was a long movie.
It was a long movie, so it's a long review. There we go. I like parallelism. Parallelism. All right, patrons, until next time, good morning now.